Justin Morel here. This is Canada. I'm in Winnipeg. It'd be nice, if this became Canada became the 51st state. I don't think it'll ever happen. Really, Canadians are way too proud about being Canadians. But if we had more freedom of travel and better connection up into Alaska, even, it'd be pretty nice. But I was just thinking about, Elon Musk. I think every man, certainly, wants respect. He wants, honor. Every man has a motive of action for everything that he does. It seems to me that Elon is, he has like a search for importance. He wants to do things that really seem to matter. And so, like, for him and his, view, like the whole SpaceX is about, if the world is catastrophically destroyed, we need to colonize Mars. He wants to save humanity. Same thing with Tesla, with electric cars. He believes in climate change, so he thinks, with the electric cars, he's helping to save the world. So he's got this whole view that, he's saving the world. Even when he bought X, it was that free speech is under attack, and it certainly is, and it was, and he needed to buy X or Twitter in order to save our rights, to save free speech, and with Doge, in the government, he's slashing spending, he's doing good. But if you listen to what he's saying, it's that, America was, on the verge of being destroyed. And if we hadn't done all this cutting, it would have, our debt would have destroyed us, which I think is certainly true. But you start to see this trend with Elon, that everything he does is in order to save the planet and to save the world, with colonizing Mars and electric cars and freedom of speech, and then government spending, and all these things are very, very important. I certainly would agree with that. I'm just trying to give you an understanding of his perspective of himself and of what he's doing, and I like Elon, but he's got 14 kids now. Another thing he says is that the birth rate is so small that society will crumble if we don't get that birth rate up. We're below the replacement rate. Every parent needs to have 2.1 kids in order for a society to grow. But I think we're at like 1.8. So two parents are not replacing themselves with two kids. Or really, what you need to be fruitful and multiply, you need 3 kids. So even before Elon said that, I was saying the same thing, that be fruitful and multiply really means, a parent needs to have, or a family, a man and a woman needs to have 3+ kids. And if Elon is searching for importance, you really don't need to look any further than fatherhood. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he's the best parent. Not to criticize him. I think he's great with what he's doing with the Trump administration. I think he's a great businessman. He's the richest man in the world. He's made a lot of money. We can admire and respect that. But when it comes to his relationship with women, he seems to be just a fornicator and a womanizer, and I don't respect that, and I don't respect absent fathers if he's absent from his kids. And so, if you want to do something important, if you really do want to save the world, if you want to save society, you do need to be fruitful and multiply, but you also need to father your kids. You need to be there for your kids, not just to provide them with money, and child support, but actually mentorship and parenting. That's true fatherhood. If your kids are growing up to be transgender, you haven't been cultivating their minds right. And I think he's got one of those, transgender kids. So unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be a good parent. Like I said, he's a fornicator and a womanizer. But if you're searching for importance, and if you're searching for significance, if you want to do stuff that really, really matters, then you don't have to look any further than fatherhood. Just be a good father. Be there for your kids. Parent them, mentor them, beyond providing for them financially. cultivate in them good character, so that you're raising up future fathers who are raising up future fathers who are raising up future fathers, and that's how we'll really save the world. So that's the most important thing. I think the most important thing that a man can do is to be a father. So that's my word for you guys.